Today, we are meal prepping. I love meal prep because it makes it so much easier for me to live a healthy lifestyle. I work at an office full time. In order for me to continue to eat healthy foods, I have to be able to have stuff ready to go that's convenient for me to grab, that I can quickly microwave or just eat cold out of the refrigerator. So today I have come up with 4 recipes that are not only healthy, but also quick to make and budget friendly, which is a win for me. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Stick around. So our first recipe is going to be chicken salad. We have light sour cream here, mayo in the back. I use the light kind just to cut down on fat. Obviously you can use the full fat kind if you'd like. Garlic salt, chicken breast, 2 cans there. I use the canned just to keep things quick and simple. You can cook your own chicken breast and shred it if you would like to go that route. Salt, pepper, chopped red grapes, chopped green apple, and a little bit of green onion. And here is the finished product. Not the prettiest, but the tastiest. This is the second recipe. So we are going to make burrito bowls 2 ways. This is the first. We've got ground turkey here. It has been rinsed. I rinse my meat instead of draining it just to help with fat content. And then I did add a little bit of just prepackaged taco seasoning to that. Got light sour cream, red enchilada sauce, canned. If you want to get fancy and make your own, you can. Canned pinto beans here, whole grain rice, again, quick and easy, and Fiesta blend cheese. If you want to make your own rice, it is a lot cheaper just to buy it in bulk dry and then cook your own. I am all for being able to microwave mine. I'm going to start this on the scale just so that I can weigh as I go. I do weigh most of my food just in terms of macros to be able to calculate them more accurately. So right now I've zeroed out my scale. I'm just going to add 60 grams of the enchilada sauce to the bowl. And we're almost there. Alright, cool. About 75 grams of pinto beans. Then we're going to add about 75 grams of the rice. Spot on. And then I top it with a little bit of cheese. I do like to add the sour cream to mine, but I don't like to heat it up. I make this with the purpose of reheating it at work. So I do usually bring a Tupperware little container of the sour cream that I can just add once it's microwaved. That's also why I didn't heat the beans, because obviously I'm going to be reheating this later, so I don't need to cook everything. This bowl made 2 servings. I do recommend breaking it into 2. It is a substantial meal if you eat it as one, so maybe if you're super hungry you can eat it as one. Sometimes if I am bringing this to work and I know that it's a long day and I may not be able to take a lunch break, I will bring 1 full bowl and break it into 2 and just eat it twice during the day, if that makes sense. For our third recipe, we have the chicken burrito bowl. This is very similar to the last one. Much of the same ingredients, so we've got our ready rice here, in the whole grain, taco seasoning, pinto beans, green enchilada sauce. I use canned. You can, again, get fancy and make your own. Light sour cream, chicken breast. You can use non-canned version if you prefer. And then I prefer mozzarella cheese in this one. If you want to use Fiesta blend like we did in the last one, and then that is up to you. So I have the canned chicken in a glass bowl. I do like to make these in glass just because I feel like the plastic Tupperware gets stained a little bit from the sauce that gets put in them, and glass doesn't have that issue. So I've put the chicken in the bowl, I've shredded it up, and then I'm going to add about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of the taco seasoning. Now that we have that all stirred up, I'm going to add the beans. Again, we'll probably add about 75 grams. And I'm going to zero this out. So I have leftover rice, so I'm just going to add what I've got here. which ends up being about 80 grams. And then we'll add 1 serving of the enchilada sauce, which is 60 grams. Close enough. Then we'll just top it with some cheese. And we will call that good. Again, I do make this with the intent of being able to microwave it later. And like I said on the last one, this is a pretty substantial meal, so I'll usually split it into 2, and I will put the macros for that down below. The final recipe that we have here is the cheapest, the easiest, and probably the most offensive to those of you that don't like peas. It is split pea soup, so if you give it a chance, I think it's really yummy. It's a good source of protein, and it has a lot of complex carbohydrates in it. Here we have the just dried split peas here, ham diced already, minced garlic. Of course, you can mince your own. I like to obviously go the cheaper, easier route. Better than bouillon, you can use chicken stock, and if you're going to use that, I would recommend about 5 to 6 cups of chicken stock or chicken broth. I prefer just to mix this in with water. Salt and pepper over here, paprika back here, and a tiny bit of cayenne pepper. I'm not huge on spiciness, but I do feel like this adds a little bit of something to it. And I like to make mine in the crock pot. I know that some of you have instant pots, so I set my crock pot on low, and it does take a good 8 hours, so I'll usually make this one at night and just let it go overnight and then stir it up in the morning and divide it out into my containers. If you do have an instant pot, then you'll have to figure out the voodoo magic conversion rate behind it, because I don't know what it is. So we're just gonna stir up this soup until the bouillon fully dissolves, thanks to Nessie, my Loch Ness monster ladle. The peas will break down and dissolve. Once that's happened, go ahead and break it up into your meal prep containers. Once the containers have cooled down, you can stick them in your fridge. Once they are in the fridge, they will solidify a little bit, so I usually pop them into a bowl and add about a 1/4 cup of water before reheating them, and then they reheat just fine. So let's talk about pricing for a minute. I know that depending on where you live, prices are going to be different for groceries. All of the prices in this video will be based obviously on the groceries in my area. For the split pea soup, we are looking at about 8 to 10 servings for that full crock pot, and each serving is going to run you about 60 to 75 cents. For the chicken burrito bowl, you are looking at about $3 for the entire bowl. Like I said, you can split that in half and make it 2 meals. For the ground turkey burrito bowl, you are looking at about $2 for the entire bowl. And for the chicken salad, you are looking at about $1 for each serving. That bowl that we made will give you about 4 to 5 servings. That's it for this meal prep video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you tried any of these recipes and liked them, please let me know. Thanks. Bye. Meal prep is one of my favorite things to do, not just because I don't know what I'm doing.